Hi everyone. So we started looking at fractions this week in our grade 8 math class, and we also had parent curriculum night on during the week as well. And I posed this problem to both the students during the week and to the parents as well. So we had a discussion in a math congress in class about how we could solve this problem, and some of the parents actually gave it a try as well at curriculum night. It's a trickier, it's a longer kind of fraction problem, and the nice thing about this problem is that there are lots of ways to solve it. So it's called Mango Magic, and I'll read it first, and we'll go through maybe what is our thinking and how we can actually show our understanding of the problem. So a king was feeling a little hungry one evening and found a basket of mangoes. He decided to eat 1/6 of the mangoes. The queen came by and decided to eat 1/5 of the remaining mangoes. The prince now felt a little peckish and ate 1/4 of the remaining mangoes. The princess woke up and decided that she would eat 1/3 of what was left. The wizard came by and ate 1/2 of the remaining mangoes, leaving only 3 mangoes for the servants to share. How many mangoes were originally in the basket? So a lot of students looked at this, and parents too, and it's kind of a little overwhelming because there are a lot of words. So we have to look at it, take a breath and see, well, what are we actually given and what are we required to find? And then what kind of strategy or analysis can we put into place to find our solution? So straight away, we can look at the question and we can pick out what we have and what are the important parts. So straight away, we can see that in the first line, the king, he ate 1/6. So just circle 1/6. And we can see that the queen came by and decided to eat 1/5. So circle a fifth. Then the prince ate 1/4. Princess ate 1/3. Wizard ate 1/2. And most importantly, there were 3 left over for the servants. So there are various different ways that students came up with solutions for this. And I'm just going to show one of the ways here. Some of the other ways were, straight away, we can see that there are 3 mangoes left. So we could think, well, let's work backwards. It's asking us how many mangoes were originally in the basket. So you're actually given the end and you're looking for the start. So working backwards would be a good strategy. But we're actually going to show a solution that visually represents the fractions. I think it's a clear way to see what exactly is going on and how we could structure our answer and get the solution in a visual way that is appealing to a lot of different learners. So we're going to go over it step by step, and I'll go as slowly and as clearly as I can. So we look at the first line, and the king decides to eat 1/6 of the mangoes. So if we ignore the rest of the question and just look at the fraction we're given, and we're given 1/6. If we were to visually represent 1/6 and draw what 1/6 looks like, I could draw a bar, or I could draw a circle, but for now I'll just draw a bar, and we could show 6 sections of this bar to represent, and then show what 1/6 is. So I'll show you what this looks like if I just draw it like this. So I could draw a bar like so and divide it into 6 sections like so. So if we wanted to represent 1/6, and this is what the king ate of the mangoes, we could just shade in 1/6 of this bar. So if we look at what's remaining, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. So I'm going to redraw my bar without the king's 1/6 portion. So if we keep our 5 sections, we now see that our bar turns into fifths. So we've got 5 sections, and that represents fifths. And we look at our second line, and it says the queen came by and decided to eat 1/5 of the remaining mangoes. So how could we represent 1/5? You can see if we just shade in one of these bars, that represents 1/5. So this one up here is going to be 1/6. This one's going to be 1/5. And you can see we're left with 1, 2, 3, 4/5, 4 sections left in our bar. So let's draw that bar out again. And the same kind of process, we divide our bar into the sections that are remaining. We move on to the next part, and we see the prince now felt a little peckish and ate a quarter of the remaining mangoes. So you can see we have 4 sections left, and we represent a quarter by shading in one of these sections. You can write in a quarter. And we're left with 1, 2, 3/4, or a bar with just 3 sections left. We'll keep going. Hopefully you can see the pattern, what's happening here. And we'll draw our bar with 3 sections left. We keep going down the question. The princess woke up and decided she would eat a third of what was left. We can see that there are 3 sections, so 1/3 will be represented by one of these sections. And we're left with 2/3, or 2 bars in our graph. We're nearly there now, so if we draw our remaining bar, you can see we're left with 2 pieces, or a half and a half. Our bar is split in half. And funnily enough, the wizard came by and ate 1/2 of the remaining mangoes. So if we eliminate a half, we can see we're left with 1/2, or just 1 section of our bar. So I'm going to draw that remaining section. Oops. And we're told the last part of our question, we were left with only 3 mangoes for the servants to share. So I'll just write it in here. That we're left with 3 mangoes. So you can see we've made a visual here that's clear to see what we're doing. We can clearly see what we're doing, and we can show our understanding very clearly using these images. We haven't used too much math, but we've used models and visuals to help us represent our understanding. So we can see that we're left with 1 block, and it represents 3 mangoes. So if we go from this stage here at the end all the way back to the start, back to this model where we had the king, we can see that the king was the original person that eats from the basket, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections in this block. So if there are 6 sections in this block, we've got 6 multiplied by 3. So if I write in the 3 on top of it, actually it might be a little clearer. So 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and 3. So if we add up the total of our model here, we have 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. So we got 6 times 3, and that equals 18. So we can say that our final answer, there were 18 mangoes in the original basket. As I mentioned, this is only one of the possible ways you could solve this question. You can do it using more logical thinking and using fraction equations and multiplication and more addition. But I think this way is a way that a lot of people, a lot of learners, different learners can understand and visualize what is going on in the question, while still coming up with a good strategy and a good answer. So I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for some more YouTube posts.